Howdy ho! I'm trying to switch it up. Guys, I'm sorry. Sorry. Hi. Welcome to Wolf Den.
Now,
I'm wearing glasses.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you say Heidi Ho because you're wearing your Ned Flanders glasses, or?
I'm having a bad eye day.
Okay.
My left eye just going.
Okay.
Yep. So fucking deal with it.
You're one step closer to becoming dad.
Yep. Anyway, I think I'm out of focus too. Which, you know what? I'm not gonna fix. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Now you feel.
It's an artistic
Now
choice.
you know what Bob feels like. And if you really have a problem with it, guess what? This is also an audio podcast. So just come back tomorrow.
Hello, welcome. We have had this news story on the list for a few weeks, but haven't had a good week to do it.
There's too much news has been happening in January.
Yeah. So it's been a little slower.
Yeah.
So we gotta wrap up all of the games that I just had a Chipotle burrito.
Okay, that makes sense.
A lot of things are happening.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. So we're gonna go through the upcoming games of 2025, the big ones at least, and say whether or not we're excited for it, and what we're gonna play, what we're looking forward to. What are you looking forward to? Because this is an interactive show, ladies and gentlemen. You can talk to us. We won't answer you because we don't like you, but feel free. We do like you.
We read the chat. I wouldn't go that far, but we do read the chat. There's other stuff. There was an Xbox Developer Direct, which I only heard one thing out of, and I'm excited about it.
Okay.
But I haven't heard anything else.
I didn't watch it, but I caught the recap of it, and there's Doom, obviously. But other than that, we'll get into it.
And then other Xbox news.
Other Xbox news, Phil Spencer doing some podcasts, not this one. So I take back what I said about not liking you guys. I don't like Phil because he's a coward. He won't come on this show.
I mean, we never asked.
Well, ask him next time. You're the one with the
What do you mean next time?
You're the one with the connection.
When's next
You're Bob
time?
Wolf. You've missed the video game guy.
What will we do with him?
I don't know.
Get a burrito?
Get a
That was two completely different ideas of what to do with Phil Spencer.
Get burritos and then fight him.
Okay. But first, before we do any of this stuff, we will thank Angel on Live for the 6 months. Good to be back for one of these live. Thank you. Thrill House, thanks for the 42 months. It's Tuesday night. You know what that means. Time to switch to the WULFF Den Podcast.
Hey, I like it.
And Mist, thanks for the 15 months. Okay. Also, before we get into anything, there are new free games that you can get with your online subscription service if you have Nintendo Switch Online.
Correct. And you just need regular Switch Online for it because it's SNES games. 3 new titles. Fatal Fury 2.
That's the theme song for this segment.
Fatal Fury 2, Sute Hakun, and Super Ninja Boy, all available on Switch Online. I have heard of Fatal Fury 2, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that they're just keep adding stuff.
Yeah.
What is that? What is that?
See, Super Ninja Boy confused me because I thought it would just be like a regular platformer, but it's like an RPG / side-scrolling karate game.
Damn, it looks terrible. That is not the frame rate of the stream. That is this game.
That's
is
the actual frame rate
one
of the game.
frame.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, these don't look that great. I mean, Fatal Fury
2, it's like a classic SNK fighting game. So if you're into that,
yeah, I'm glad that that's there, and I'm glad that we're padding out the library. I think there might be a world where 90% of the NES library is on Nintendo Switch Online, which would be amazing.
Well, I think it's good that even though the Switch is coming to an end of its light cycle, that they're still putting games on it. Mm-hmm. So that leads me to believe that they're going to continue to support this initiative into the Switch 2's life cycle and hopefully beyond that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is a big sign. And also they've talked in the future about having a unified account.
Yeah.
And the games being backwards compatible and whatnot. I think that it's good. I think that you'll end up with a big library of games even on the Nintendo Switch 2. And remember when Nintendo Switch Online was first announced, everybody was upset that you can't buy the games individually?
Yes.
The subscription service model is starting to make a little more sense when you consider just how much stuff there is and how long it's going to be available for.
Well, this subscription model, the way Nintendo's doing it, because it's just their classic games. It's not they're not putting brand new AAA titles day and date on it.
Yeah, I still would like the option to buy games,
of course,
individually. But I'm not opposed to paying $4. For like a massive, it's what is now a massive library. Anyway, Kira, thanks for the 1,000 bits. Happy Tuesday, Wolf Bros. I don't know if y'all heard, but I was sad to hear about Earthblade. We do
have a story on that.
And I am very sad.
Yes.
I learned about it from an Arlo video. I didn't even know. I was like 2 days old by the time I watched it. The follow-up game Metroidvania from EXOK, the creators of Celeste, has unfortunately been canceled, sadly. I know, I'm very upset. Not a great week for us trans people. It's not a great week for me either.
Yeah.
Why aren't you thinking about me?
It's all about
It's got to be all about us. No, I'm kidding.
Now, not to get political or anything.
We got in trouble.
We did get in trouble for that. So, we are going to be talking about the Earthblade story. Yeah,
I'm very upset about that.
Yeah.
Because I loved Celeste.
Yeah,
it was such
Celeste.
a big. I mean, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
But also, we got in trouble last week because our mother she just goes. She doesn't watch the show.
No.
She just goes straight to the comments to see what shit people are talking about us. And she just repeats some of that stuff
found
to us.
The 3 people in the chat who didn't like us talking about, quote unquote politics.
And what did we talk about? We talked about Elon for some reason.
We talked about Elon because he's a big dumb loser who sucks and he cheats at video games.
That was
video games.
That's the thing. Our mother said you need to stay in your lane.
Yes. We talked about
Elon cheating video games.
Yes, we talked about
the tariffs.
The tariffs could affect the Switch release, the Switch 2 release, and we talked about how the TikTok ban affected a video game.
So here's I was listening to another podcast the other day, and they had to talk about tariffs as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they prefaced it. It was like a 2-minute long preface of them being like, we're a technology podcast. We don't want to talk about politics. We don't, some people come to this as like a safe space to get away from that stuff. No.
Yeah.
You don't get to have a safe space anymore.
Yeah. No.
If you need a safe space away from the politics, that can't happen anymore because tariffs affect what we talk about. We've always talked about news, and sometimes a little bit of politics is going to leak into this. So, suck my ass and lick my balls.
And Mom, if you're watching this, all I have to
Why'd you have to say that so close to what I just said?
What I want to say is, Mom, if you really don't like what we have to say on this show, start your own podcast.
Yeah.
It's easy. Anybody can do it. So give it a try. Everybody will listen to our mother's podcast and be really nice to her.
The moral of this story should be that our mother reads the comments. So be very nice to us and say nice things to her in the comments of the YouTube video.
Yes.
That's what the moral is here.
Compliment her sauce.
Oh, she makes a good sauce.
She does make a good sauce.
Yes. Although I asked her for a good pasta recipe, and she goes, just go to Stu Leonard's. And then I did, and it was great. So everyone complimented my pasta recipe. Anyway, we should probably get into the news.
Yes, not to talk about politics anymore. Don't want to get in trouble with our mother.
I'm sure we will.
We're pushing 40, and we're still worried about getting.
It was a group text with the.
It wasn't a group text. It was just the 2 of us. It wasn't to the.
No, that's what I mean, though. It was a group text between the 3 of us.
Yes,
and we were both like, "Leave us alone."
And the best part about that was in the main Wolf family group text, our dad just sends his obligatory, "Hey, look at this Vegas video I found," because he is also a child. It's 2025 now.
Yeah.
New video games are coming out in 2025. This is a big year for video games.
Is it? I love this is a Polygon article. I love the little illustration.
That is a very good illustration.
Image by Sony Ross of Polygon. That's so nice.
So they're saying this is a big year. They're kind of saying this is like a make or break year for video games.
A little bit.
We talked about like
it's a make or break year for the whole world.
Yes. Well, in video games, we're staying in our lane.
We might not
about video games.
We might not make it out of the year.
We're staying in our lane. We're talking about video games. 2023. All
my Nvidia stock crashed. What am I going to do with all these 5090s? I waited out online at Micro Center for 9 hours.
Clearly, nobody watched Iron Man because Tony Stark built ChatGPT in a cave with a box of scraps. We're staying in our lane. We're talking about video games. 2023 was considered like one of the best years in video games because you had like Resident Evil 4.
2023? No, 2023 was one of the worst. 2024 was very good.
When did Resident Evil 4 come out? Was that 2022?
Remake.
Yeah.
2023?
2023. Yeah, see?
It was like one of the few games that came out.
Will was right. Well, no, because then...
was barren.
No, 2023 was that. It was Spider-Man 2. There was a lot of big games in 2023.
Okay, sure. I don't think 2023 was good.
2023 was a big year in games. A lot of really great games came out. 2024, that was the wash. Good games came out, but not like to the level of 2023. And of course, like a tenth of the entire video game industry got laid off, just massive layoffs and studio shutdowns across the board. So people are looking to this year as like the year where gaming finds its footing again and gets back on track. Good games come out. People are buying games at a high volume again. The quality of the games is better than they were. So that's what I mean by like all eyes are on this year for like big game releases.
I think 2023 was a dip. Well, there was COVID, obviously. And then 2023, I think, was the effects of COVID. And then 2024 started to pick back up, and there was a lot of great stuff last year.
2023 was Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 16, Baldur's Gate 3, Alan Wake 2, Tears of the Kingdom, Liza P, Starfield, Street Fighter 6, Resident Evil 4, Mario Wonder, Hi-Fi Rush, Jedi Survivor, Sea of Stars, Hogwarts Legacy, Mortal Kombat 1, Dead Island 2, Dredge.
Okay, you can't say Dead Island 2. You don't get to put Dead Island 2 in there as like a point maker. You're just naming games.
RoboCop Rogue City. There you go. Now I'm just naming games.
I remember the game of the Year awards for 2023 was not the best. It was obviously Baldur's Gate, and that's it.
And Tears of the Kingdom.
Sure.
And Resident Evil 4. And Spider-Man.
Yeah, but remember, that was the big argument. Spider-Man 2, fuck Spider-Man 2. Everybody goes a little too nuts about Spider-Man 2.
The point was there was a lot of good to great
2024
games.
was better, is what I'm saying.
I don't think anybody...
And I think 2025, we're ramping back up. This year's gonna be a good year. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
I'm agreeing with all that.
Okay.
Type shit.
Okay.
Type beat.
So anyway, yes, we're looking forward to the games this year. Hopefully,
woo!
We got some good ones. Already starting the year off. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
These games suck. Also, everyone say nice things about us in the comments.
Yes,
Mothers has something nice to text us.
Syndula Echoes of Ada.
What is that?
I have no idea. I figure we'll just like say the names of the games. And if one like piques our interest, we'll stop and we'll talk about it.
Sure.
Sniper Elite Resistance, Civilization 7. That's a big one. Everybody loves Civilization.
That is a big one.
Yeah.
Yes. And that is also coming to Switch. Switch 1.
Yes. Switch 1, yes.
Dang.
Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think this got delayed again.
This says release date February 14th. I think it's later than that.
Yeah. I mean, you want to talk about make or break. Like, if this thing doesn't sell 20 million units, Ubisoft might be dead.
March 20th, 2025.
Yeah.
That's a lot later.
Yeah.
We've been seeing some gameplay recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think Steven Totillo tweeted some video of the guy slashing through bamboo.
Yeah.
And to show off like the bamboo physics, and then people were quote tweeting that with Metal Gear Rising from 2013 with their cutting physics being like, dude, they had this a long time ago.
Well, okay, what the Metal Gear Rising, the cutting physics, they like scaled that,
they nerfed it
way
like
back from the initial reveal to the actual game. So,
but even what was in the game still was more robust than what it looked like in Assassin's Creed.
Right.
But that being said, I'm just goofing, and I think that it does look good.
Yeah.
I think that Assassin's Creed looks good, and I'm glad they delayed it, and I'm gonna play it, and I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and hopefully it does succeed, and hopefully, like, you know, it leads to Ubisoft getting their act together, or it leads to them getting sold to Tencent. And
yeah, legitimately, if this doesn't sell a lot, they're fucked.
Yeah. And and then if it gets sold to Tencent, they're considered an enemy combatant, and we might not be able to play their games. But we're not getting political here.
We're not getting political.
We
have to stay in our lane.
Yes, we're staying in our lane. The next game is
this is a video by IGN that says Assassin's Creed Shadow is not it's not stealthy enough. Basically, was like in the thumbnail.
Okay.
I don't know what they mean by that. I think they want it to be more like a Splinter Cell type thing, and it looks plenty stealthy.
I mean, Assassin's Creed, that looks stealthy to me. Maybe they simplified it so it's not like a hardcore stealth game anymore.
Do people remember what Splinter Cell was like? Like it wasn't like it was janky.
No, Splinter Cell 1 was pretty hardcore.
It was good. It was a good game, but it was a fucking GameCube game. It was janky.
It was janky, but
that's just how it is.
I honestly still have nightmares of the level where you infiltrate the CIA, the NSA, and you can't shoot anybody.
It's amazing. I loved all of those games, and you just dealt with the jank a little bit because the game was good.
Right.
Yeah. You'd walk up behind somebody, you do the stealth takedown, you'd snap onto them and take them down.
Right.
You know? But that's just how it was.
But I'm not talking about the jank necessarily. I'm talking about the ideology behind it. Splinter Cell tried to be a much more hardcore stealth game where you had to follow a strict set of rules. You can't you 3 alarms and the mission's over. That's it. That was a very hard limit on what you can do in that game because you had to perform everything literally by the book.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean by a hardcore stealth game. Assassin's Creed was never really that, but I can see them maybe scaling back some of the strict requirements of what a stealth game is to make it more appealing to a broader audience.
I mean, what I like about Assassin's Creed is that sometimes there would be missions where you could do it stealth, or you had the option.
Yeah.
You know? I would like more of that option.
Right.
I would like more of the ability to do stealth stuff and more tools to do stuff in a stealthy way. I haven't watched this IGN video. I assume by the title and thumbnail they're saying there's not enough tools that they give you. But I'm looking at this and I'm reminding myself of the Ubisoft Star Wars game that just came out.
Right.
That was also a lot of stealth. Star Wars Outlaws had an insane amount of stealth, but it didn't feel like it was built around stealth, so it felt weird.
Mm-hmm.
If it even feels like that, I might like this. Even if it's that janky, I might be into it still.
Well, it's a Ubisoft game, so it's probably going to feel exactly like that.
Even if it's just a little more stealth than what that was, then I'll be happy.
Okay.
Also, I need a good story because this game's going to be 20 hours long.
Yeah.
And it needs to make me want to play it.
For all 20 hours.
Yeah.
Next up is Avowed, a game I thought came out, but I think I'm confusing that with something else.
Forspoken?
Maybe. Lost Records, Bloom and Rage.
Don't know what the hell it is.
It's a Don't Nod game. The Life is Strange people.
Oh, I should have known.
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. This game looks awesome.
What the fuck?
It's a modern day set game, and it's got pirates of the old seas in it, and you're one of those pirates, and Samoa Joe the wrestler is one of your enemies. So.
I gotta play a Yakuza game.
I really gotta play a Yakuza game. Monster Hunter Wilds is coming out. Fragpunk. Another one of these.
Wait, is Fragpunk the one with the cards? I might be interested in Fragpunk.
Yeah, power up cards.
Yeah, so it's like Valorant, but you get a wacky card, and like the card could be like make the enemy heads huge, so they're bigger targets. Like that could be really cool. I'm interested in that little twist. You having trouble with your?
I am
drink
having
over
a little
there.
trouble
Let a man handle it.
Okay, fine, big boy. All right. So Fragpunk, Tales of the Shire. That's that Lord of the Rings cozy game.
Boy, this is really on here.
I know, right? All you Lord of the Rings fans, something tells me this is going to be the game for you. Being a little hobbit.
Tales of the Shire.
Yeah,
it's like, has this not been out?
No, they've been like hyping it up.
Is there
though.
Coffee in it?
It's tea, because I'm like, I need some caffeine, but I don't need that much caffeine.
Okay, I understand.
So, yeah. Atom Fall, inspired by Fallout New Vegas. Okay.
Cool.
Nice. Inzoni.
What is this?
I have no idea. Inzoi.
The first thing you'll notice about
wait a minute.
Inzoi
Oh.
extraordinarily realistic it looks, especially compared to the Sims.
Yes, this is like that realistic Sims competitor. I've seen this. I've like seen like stills of this.
Cool.
Nice. Maybe if your sister's grown up and doesn't want to play The Sims anymore. Football Manager 25 coming out this year. Grand Theft Auto 6, the big one, the game that will carry all of video games into the promised land this year.
Is this in release date order?
It's for the most part. I mean, most games just come out in 2025.
Yeah, we're because I was gonna say we're already in just 2025.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto is a lot of the reason why people think this year is the year.
Yeah, a lot of game companies are like waiting to see when Grand Theft Auto comes out to like, you know, figure out when they're going to release their own games, and they're hoping that like, you know, a rising tide raises all boats type thing, where, you know, people will buy Grand Theft Auto and then maybe they'll want to buy other games to go along with their fancy game boxes.
Yeah, I think that people are going to move out of the way.
Yeah.
And that's
100%.
going to be interesting.
No, I know they're going to like definitely move out of the way, but I'm also saying like they'll buy, you know, they'll want to play Grand Theft Auto. It's only on console right now. So they'll go out, they'll buy a PlayStation or they'll buy an Xbox, most likely a PlayStation. And they'll like, I'm done with Grand Theft Auto. What's another game I can play on my fancy new machine? So
that would be the best case scenario.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I'm assuming you're going to get it when it comes out.
Yeah.
So
I would love to get it on Steam. I'm really annoyed that it's not going to be on PC.
So I am also going to get it when it comes out, but I feel like I'm getting it out of obligation.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I like obviously.
Actually, now that I am remembering that it's not on PC, I don't want it.
Like obviously, like I want to play the game. Obviously, I think it's going to be a good game, but like I feel like I have to get it in order to be part of like the zeitgeist, as it were, because like everyone's going to get it. It's going to be like the only thing that people talk about for like months. If not like the next year and a half.
Yeah.
So,
I just don't want to have to play it on one of my consoles.
I know.
As much as that is weird for me to say.
Apparently there's a $7 app on Steam that will do Xbox remote play for you. And it like makes it all nice and stuff.
I mean, you could just do that on your computer.
I know, but I don't have a
You can't do it on your laptop?
I could, yeah, but if I want to do it on my Steam Deck.
You could do it on... Oh, yeah, it's like kind of a pain in the ass to set up remote play on there without that $7 app. Hey, Farmer Gooch, thanks for the $10. Next game is 2XKO, which is Riot Games, their fighting game.
Ooh.
I am a little interested in this.
That is interesting.
I will be a lot more interested if they put a Valorant character in there. Right now, it looks like it's all League of Legends characters.
Yeah, well, I'm sure they'll add like the Valorant characters and stuff.
Just give me one.
Do it.
And whoever it is, I'll play as that person.
Yeah, but, you know, just be warned that, you know, Riot is owned by Tencent, so they're considered a weapons manufacturer. We're not getting political.
We're not getting political.
We're staying in our lane.
We're staying in our lane.
Borderlands 4 coming out this year, maybe. I don't know. Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
I might play Borderlands 4. I need a good looter shooter. And there are none anymore.
Right. Well,
now that Destiny is down the tubes.
Right. Well, I don't know if this is going to be any different from all the other Borderlands games because they all look the same to me.
Borderlands 4, criminally not titled Borderlands.
I'm kind of happy they didn't name that because Borderlands is already an annoying franchise.
Yep.
So that's a little bit of restraint on their part.
I didn't know. I forgot Death Stranding 2 was coming out.
Yes, Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
I gotta beat the first one.
I gotta play the first one.
Well, you have it on Steam.
I do have it on Steam. Yeah. So it's Demon School coming out this year. Doom: The Dark Ages. We'll have more about that in the direct, the Xbox Developer Direct. Dune: Awakening. Is this the?
It looks like Mass Effect.
Oh yeah, I mean, no. Is this an RTS or is this a different?
I believe this is a Mass Effect type game.
Oh, that's different then.
Yeah.
Dune Awakening will follow players who customize their own characters and align themselves with various factions across Arrakis. Okay, so yeah, this is a Mass Effect style game. That's interesting because usually Dune games are like RTSs. Dune 2 is like famous for being like the progenitor of the modern RTS.
It actually looks awesome.
Yeah.
I gotta watch the Dunes. I hear good things about the Dunes.
The Dunes are awesome. I haven't seen the TV show yet, but the movies are incredible.
There's a TV show.
Yeah, it's a prequel series. So, but you probably don't need.
Yeah, I'm not watching it. Joe, what are you?
Ghosts of Yotai, the sequel to Ghosts of Tsushima, it's coming out this year.
That also looks
if I ever get to playing Ghosts of Tsushima, I will be excited for this game, but I haven't played Ghosts of Tsushima yet. That's my list. I'm going to finish Indiana Jones, then I'm going to play Star Wars Outlaws, and then I'm going to play Ghosts of Tsushima. And hopefully by then, I'll be able to play Ghosts of Yotai.
I still have to play friggin' Indiana Jones.
Yes, you do.
I'm so behind on everything.
Killing Floor 3 coming out this year. Elden Ring Night Rain.
This is the Battle Royale.
Yes.
I am interested in this. I haven't played Elden Ring at all.
Mm-hmm.
I've only played a little bit of Souls games. But the idea of doing like a Battle Royale / roguelike situation is really interesting to me. So that might get me interested in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So this is cool. I like this idea.
Cool. We get in a new Professor Layton game, Professor Layton in the World of Steam.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I've played one of the Professor Laytons, and I reached a point where I'm like, you know what? I am too stupid for these. These are smart people games, and I am not that.
I played a little bit of Professor. Actually, somebody handed me their DS and was like, I can't figure out this puzzle. I was like, this puzzle, beep, 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 beep. Go, I did it. And then they gave it to me a second time, and I was like, let me Google it.
33 Immortals coming out this year.
So that's an interesting one too. Would it even
Yes.
be an action roguelike if you didn't fight through the underworld? 33 Immortals continues the trend with a game starring a damned soul who battles their way through hell, purgatory, and heaven. But here's the strange part. The game supports up to 33 players working in tandem, making this a massive cooperative experience. Killing God will probably take some teamwork after all.
Yeah.
So you kill God. That's cool.
That's cool.
I do want to. This game also interests me because the idea of 33 people playing at once sounds sick. Windows, PC, and Xbox Series X.
Yeah. Anno 117 Pax Romana. No picture, so the game doesn't exist.
Yep.
Arc Raiders coming this year. Fable, a new Fable game, allegedly coming back.
Feels weird to have an anamorphic lens flare in a medieval game.
In a video game period.
Yeah.
You know?
It feels like a sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like a... Feels weird.
Well, I mean, so this is the first Fable game since 2012. It's the first one not made by Lionhead Studios, the original Fable team, because Microsoft closed them down. So we'll see if they can bring the old magic back.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Well, I'm interested if they'll bring it back. I'm definitely not playing this game.
Yeah.
FBC Firebreak.
Set in the universe of Control. This is Remedy's cooperative first-person shooter.
I remember this.
Yes.
This is gonna just be Left 4 Dead, right?
Probably. Isolated from the outside world, players must work together to fight against extra-dimensional enemies trapped alongside them, utilizing various tools, weapons, and equipment cobbled together from whatever they can find.
I bet there's 4 players.
Yeah.
And I bet there's a brute, regular zombie type.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Marvel 1943, The Rise of Hydra, coming out this year. Yep. This is the only thing that's interesting about it is Amy Hennig's new game. Like other than that, like this is definitely a wait and see type game. I feel like, you know.
Yeah, I'm not. Superhero games seem to be hit or miss.
Yeah, like you have the ones that you know will work. I mean, I hope it's good. I hope like it does some unique and interesting things, but like I'm not like gonna get it on launch day or anything like that.
It is weird that Black Panther has a mouth, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not T'Challa, it's his grandfather.
Yeah.
That's like a big deal. Also a big deal, the next game, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond.
I put that in the thumbnail.
Yes.
Because it's the biggest deal.
Yes.
This has been announced for the past, 8 years?
Yeah, something like that.
8 years.
2017 was when it was announced.
Yep.
And then silence.
That literally is 8 years.
Yeah. But allegedly it is coming this year. We still don't know if it's going to, like, they said it's coming to Switch, but the Switch 2 is also coming out this year, so we don't know, like, is this going to be like a true Switch 2 game? Or are there going to be two versions of this game? Is it just coming out on Switch 1?
So I'd imagine it would be, I mean, I don't know. See, Nintendo historically has a big game that launches on both.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Breath of the Wild
is a perfect example. But in the case of Breath of the Wild, you needed to get it on both. You didn't have one that, and the weird thing about this is that this year, Nintendo Switch 2 is backwards compatible.
Yeah.
So that's going to really confuse things.
Yeah.
So hopefully this is a Nintendo Switch 1 game with major upgrades. This was definitely started in development before the Nintendo Switch 2 was even started.
Yes. So I just don't know. Nintendo to me doesn't seem like the type of company who would do like a smart delivery type deal.
Yeah.
Where like, yes, you could play it on the Switch 1, but if you play it on Switch 2, you get like enhanced graphics, enhanced sound.
Yeah, I can't imagine that.
So
they were showing off a demo of Breath of the Wild running at
4K, whatever. Yeah.
So hopefully there's some enhancements with that. But
yeah,
I would imagine a game like this needs more care than that.
Yeah.
It needs more advancement.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how they're going to do this.
Yeah.
But I think that it will be for both, and it will be interesting the way that they show it off.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
Now, people were asking me if I think that this will be as janky as Scarlet and Violet. I think that it will definitely not be as janky as Scarlet and Violet, but it will definitely be jankier than most other big budget games.
Well, it's a Legends game, so it'll be probably as janky as Arceus.
Hopefully.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
People liked Arceus.
Yeah.
I did not.
I think people just like the Legends games because it's like the next logical step that Pokemon should be taking.
Yes. Pokemon Legends Arceus is what Pokemon should have been doing on the fucking GameCube.
Yes. Yeah. But
we should have gotten way past that by now.
Yeah.
So I might be interested in this. I need to see more about it. But as of right now, I'm really off the sauce with Pokemon. I hate everything I've played in the past couple of years. So
The Sinking City 2.
I have no idea.
Okay. Skate, we'll see.
Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Early access, it says.
Yeah, and this is like, I don't even know what they're doing with this. It's like more of an online game than like the previous games were.
I mean,
it's free to play.
Ooh, that could be weird.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like,
it'd be cool to like jump into a lobby and have like a bunch of people around while you're skating around.
But like, you know, it's definitely like the announcement definitely reeked of like, oh, Tony Hawk's back. Quick, put out our skateboarding game. You know, and then Tony Hawk came and went. The 3 and 4 sequel that they were supposed to do got canceled because, you know, God forbid Diablo didn't have more people working on it. But I think maybe now the time has passed, honestly, because like all the hype for Tony Hawk like died, and now we're left with nothing.
Well, they need to do something different, and making it an online thing might be the something different.
Maybe.
There are a lot of people who stream themselves on TikTok playing Skate, and they just do like they're doing like one weird trick. That's why like in this picture we have here, it's a guy trying to like thread the needle through this little hole in the wall. People do that on TikTok all the time. It would be cool to just do shit like that in a public lobby with like other people around.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of like going to like the two-step over in town with a bunch of dudes and you're all like skating down
Well, that's kind of like what Skate 3 was. You know, it was an open environment that you would like skate up to do like your objectives. And like because it was more of a skate sim rather than like an arcadey style game, like you only had to do like one or two tricks. Like you had to land it perfectly in order to like advance. So it was a much more technical game.
It would be cool if you were just doing that. If there was more sense of community.
Yeah.
Like you were around other people.
Well, Skate 3 had like an online feature.
Yeah.
So
I'm just saying, I think this could be cool. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
I hope so. Next is Slay the Spire 2.
People like Slay the Spire.
Yes.
I don't know anything about Slay the Spire.
Splitgate 2. People like Splitgate. South of Midnight. The follow-up to the Compulsion Games follow-up to We Happy Few, which people did not like.
Really?
Yes. Subnautica 2.
People like Subnautica.
Yes. The Altars.
If you like me, are looking forward to Bong Joon-ho's sci-fi drama Mickey 17. I Am.
That was really good, yeah.
You should definitely keep your eye out for this weird and wild survival adventure. Okay.
Claire Obscure Expedition 33. I think that was part of the Xbox Direct. Mafia, the old country, is coming this year.
I am interested in that.
Yes. It is also a Take-Two published game, so I hope they're smart enough not to put it in direct competition with GTA 6.
Oh, yeah.
So this should come out.
They wouldn't do that. Mafia was like the B-rate Grand Theft Auto for.
Well, Mafia came out like around the same time as GTA 3 and completely got like lost in the weeds.
It should be like they should weave around when Grand Theft, like this should release 2 years from now.
I'm just picturing like a Titanfall 2 situation where EA released Titanfall 2 like a week after Battlefield.
Yeah.
So and a week before Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was in between two of the biggest first-person shooters.
So
yeah, this is probably a bad year to release Mafia.
Yeah,
or release it a few months before.
Before, yeah.
And that's really all you can do. If you release it after, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But I'm interested for some story. We talked about this a couple times because there's going to be a Sicilian language feature, which is very strange.
Yes. And when our mother starts her podcast,
she can play this
game and talk about it.
Yeah.
But no, that's video games. She needs to stay out of that lane. That's our lane.
Yes.
Staying in our lane. You talk about tomato sauce on your podcast, Mom. Judas, the next game from Ken Levine and his new video game company, Ghost Story Games. It's fucking BioShock again. But
yeah, that's what this is. This is his BioShock. Okay.
I mean,
this is the spiritual successor to BioShock.
Granted, BioShock is good. So hopefully, like, this will also be good.
It's just that there's been a lot of other BioShock knockoffs in the past couple of years, so it's hard to keep track of which one is, like, the legit one.
Well, this is the legit one. Okay. According to this description, it's going to have a procedurally generated scenarios feature inspired by the Shadow of Mordor Nemesis system.
Inspired by?
Yes. Well, because it can't be the same thing, because Warner Brothers owns that for some reason.
So it's interesting to see if they're going to get sued.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm sure it'll be legally distinct, which is the best kind of distinct. So yeah, but I am looking forward to that. I hope it is good. Outer Worlds 2. This had a good
Outer Worlds 2.
Yes.
Okay.
The Outer Worlds 2.
Yes.
Not to be confused with the Outer Wilds.
Different game.
Yes. This had that really funny trailer from the developers of Knights of the Old Republic 2. And all that. So, am I going to play it? No. But
this is what's their name?
Obsidian.
Yes. I wanted to say BioWare so bad.
Yeah. Gears of War E-Day. This is a prequel to the Gears of War series about how the Locust Horde came and invaded the planet Sarah. It stars young Dom and young Marcus. Cool. I haven't played Gears 5 yet, so not going to play this.
Never a big Gears guy. We played through 2 of them.
I played through the first four mainline games. And I liked the first one. The second one wasn't bad. Third one lost me. The fourth one I really liked a lot for some reason. And I want to play the fifth one. I've never gotten around to playing the fifth one. And apparently it ended on a cliffhanger. Are they following it up? Nope. They're just doing a prequel.
Didn't we co-op one?
We co-op the second one.
Okay. And I think I played the first one. But yeah, I was never really that into it.
Yeah.
Marathon, I'm interested because I need a good I like Destiny, made by the same people.
Mm-hmm.
I need a good multiplayer shooter.
Right.
And this looks really, it looks beautiful from
right.
the trailer
Yeah.
that we saw. But it seems like Bungie's doing a lot of they're in a lot of hot water.
Yeah, they just got to put out like a hit. Like they need a hit.
They're struggling right now.
Yeah.
So.
And I don't know if turning like their single player first person shooter franchise into a multiplayer extraction shooter is the way to go.
Yeah, they didn't have to call this Marathon.
No. And it's not like I don't think people have like deep nostalgia for Marathon.
No.
You know?
There's no reason to call it.
That wasn't like, it was a Mac game.
Yeah.
Those aren't like, the big, franchise that people think they are. They're like very niche.
A pioneer in mouse look.
Yes.
Though.
Yes.
Terminator Survivors. Terminator, a pioneer in WASD controls.
Yes, there you go. Talking about pioneers here. This is an open world survival game. It is single or co-op. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. The last Terminator game that came out, I think it was Resistance. That was from the people who went on to make RoboCop Rogue City. People really like that game a lot. It's janky as hell, but like it tells like an interesting story and it's got like really good like stealth mechanics.
It looks good, yeah.
So I don't know if this is the same developer, but hopefully they took lessons from that and applied it to this.
Okay.
Deadlock.
I played a little bit of Deadlock. People love this game.
Yeah.
I do not. But I think it's just not finished, and I think that I could end up liking it when it actually has a full release. But this just says to be announced, and I don't think this is coming out this year at all. I don't think it's anywhere close to ready. I think that there'll be updates, and like they might open the beta again. But like, as for now, I think that this is nowhere close to being a full release.
Yeah. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater.
Is that this year?
That is this year.
Because it just says. Some of these are saying release date to be announced.
Yes, but I think it is targeted for this year.
Yeah, it says 2025.
So, that game better be good. Let me tell you.
I am definitely going to play that.
Yeah.
I'm not that hopeful because it's not Kojima and I feel like you need that. But some of the previews look pretty good.
Yeah, some of the previews look good. I mean, Konami had a decent hit with the Silent Hill 2 remake.
Mm-hmm.
Like that seems to do very well for them and people generally like that, aside from like the hardcore Silent Hill 2 fans. So hopefully that carries over to this. I'm more familiar with this game than I am Silent Hill 2, so I will be much more judgy of it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way that this holds up to the original.
No, but I feel like just the fact that they're releasing more like preview videos and they're getting like David Hayter out in front to talk about it, like leads me to believe that they have a lot of faith in it. They're like want to put that out for everybody to see.
Yeah. And
so
I would love a way for more people to experience Metal Gear, which is not an easy franchise to jump into.
No, yeah.
So, and there was a point in time where I told people to just play the third one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that time has passed because that's a PlayStation 2 game. But
well, now you got this.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is like a good entryway for some people.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, I think you need Kojima to get the weirdness.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's everything that we have here.
Yeah. Did we miss anything? Let us know.
But I can't think of anything that I'm particularly looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean everything that was there was there. The big ones for me, it's like Prime 4, GTA, Snake Eater. I'm probably missing one already. Mafia.
There's a lot of weird stuff that I'm interested in. That is some games that I wouldn't normally play.
Aside from like GTA and Metroid, everything's like, get to it when you get to it type deal.
Yeah, I'm worried I'm falling behind.
Yeah.
Falling behind on my backlog.
I've fallen behind years ago. So,
Yeah.
I'm lucky if I get in like 1 or 2 like really good meaty gaming experiences a year.
Scatterbrain, thank you for the 43 months from 42 minutes ago. Mist, thanks for the 15 months. Agent Pond, thanks for the Prime. The Goose Chase, thanks for the 100 bits. I love when y'all speak your mind. Sorry, Wolf Mom. All right, let's not.
Hey.
That's my mom you're talking about. Noise with the 8 months, jumping on Twitch to gift my Prime before running to YouTube to watch. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
YouTube is a much better viewing experience, especially if you have premium.
Yeah.
The ads on Twitch are insane now. Which you don't need to worry about if you have Amazon Prime and you give us a Prime subscription.
Mm-hmm.
War Machine, thanks for the 15 months. Hello. How you doing? There are a few this article seems to mix, like Expedition 33. Didn't we talk about that?
No, we talked about some. Oh, we did. No, we did.
Something 33.
Yeah.
Is that a different game? I think that might be a different game.
33 Immortals is what we talked about.
Expedition. All right, what is that then? Send me a tweet. I don't know. This tweet doesn't. This just has a little picture. Hell is Us. I don't know what the fuck that.
Little Nightmares 3. I mean, okay.
Little Nightmares 3 is the one that isn't that the one where the. Or I remember getting confused. Oh, Hell is Us actually looked cool. Now that I think about it.
Wait, which one is Hell is Us?
It was weird looking.
Right. Split Fiction, they're like starting to like hype up now. That's the next Hazlight game.
This is Hell is Us.
Oh, okay, yes.
I thought it was a Housemarque game.
Yes.
It is developed by Rogue Factor.
All right, we can't get everything.
Can't get everything.
It's not,
hey, buddy.
it's not
right.
2003 when like only like a handful of games come out. Now we got like games coming everywhere. Games out the butt.
Oh, we forgot Crons. Oh, it's Chronos.
Chronos.
All right, whatever. All right. What else do we got? Any notifications I missed? No. Should we do the Xbox thing?
Yeah.
I guess that will be.
We're already running on a high of like all the new games coming out this year.
Sure.
Might as well just run through everything Xbox talked about in their developer direct. They visited the studios behind Doom: The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Claire Obscura, Expedition 33.
Hey, for you motherfuckers that want to start with Expedition 33.
And the surprise, Ninja Gaiden 4.
That looks awesome.
It does look awesome, yeah. But that's not the only surprise, because they also announced Ninja Gaiden 2 Black was available that day. Like they shadow dropped it.
I kind of wanted to play it.
We had Ninja Gaiden original, and I think it's playable on Xbox Series and Xbox One.
Is that the first one or the second one?
The second.
The second. It was Ninja Gaiden 2. Black.
Yes, the original release of Ninja Gaiden 2 on the Xbox 360.
Right. And I played that, and that is probably the hardest game I've ever played in my whole life.
Yeah,
I couldn't get past the first boss, which is like 30 seconds into the game.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I wanted to jump back in and play it for some reason. I like Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
We had it for the NES back in the day. And didn't really play much else besides that. And then this, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black. But I didn't get very far in Ninja Gaiden 2 Black because it was very hard.
It's just Ninja Gaiden 2.
Oh, not Black.
This current release is Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
I thought Black was like the Game of the Year version.
For the first one, for the Xbox One, for the original Xbox Ninja Gaiden, the Game of the Year version was Ninja Gaiden Black.
Okay.
And then on the 360 it was Ninja Gaiden 2.
Okay, now I'm understanding.
Yes.
All right. But anyway.
Okay. So Doom: The Dark Ages coming out May 15th this year on Xbox, Steam, PS5, and Game Pass. So even in their developer direct, they're telling you like you can get it on non-Xbox shit.
Yes.
It is a prequel to Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal. It is a dark fantasy sci-fi setting. In the segment shown, 3 core pillars of the game were explored: combat, exploration, and the story. Which, guys, Doom does not have a great story. You gotta let that go. It's just a dense story. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's kind of cool to see some of this stuff, but like,
that's not why you play this.
That's not why you're playing these games.
It looks pretty cool.
It looks great. Like the Doom reboot series has been phenomenal. This of course looks just as good. I'm excited to eventually get my hands on it whenever I have time to play video games again.
Next is South of Midnight. We don't.
This is that game. This is that follow up to what was we talking about? We Happy Few. Yeah, looks all right. I mean,
looks okay. Expedition 13. I gotta mute this friggin' tab.
Expedition Claire Obscure Expedition 33.
We literally did mention this.
Yeah, turn-based RPG set in a fantasy version of 19th century France, where the world is facing an existential threat 1 year at a time. Developers shared a deep look at the game's innovative mechanics, such as the reactive turn-based system and unique art direction that brings the game's world to life.
Why is the frame rate so bad?
I don't know. It is coming out April 24th of this year.
And then next, Ninja Gaiden 4. Now this, it's got like a cyberpunk type thing going on.
Kinda, yeah.
It looks like what is it, Cyber Shadow? Ghost Runner. It looks like Ghost Runner.
Yes.
And I'm here for it. I think it looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, the Ninja Gaiden series has always been like kind of cyberpunky, kind of like dark fantasy type deal. So
this leans a lot more into the cyberpunk.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw on screen. So this is usually a Team Ninja developed game. They are working with Platinum Games for this, which is interesting. I mean, fast paced, really difficult hack and slash action games.
And there's grinding.
And there's grinding.
Go back.
Hell
go
yeah.
Show that again.
That's kind of like Platinum's like thing. So to see them do it and like
live and learn
with like such a premier series like Ninja Gaiden, which hasn't had a good game in a long time. And it doesn't necessarily, not that it doesn't look like a Platinum game. It does look like a Ninja Gaiden game.
It looks sick.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be really hard.
Yes.
But I want to try it.
Yes.
It looks cool.
I'm excited to play that. It is.
You know why I think I like this? Like it's. I'm kind of burnt out by like third person like action games.
Yeah.
But I think this looks interesting because there is a lot of platforming.
Yes. Well, the Ninja Gaiden games, like they're not open world games. They're like linear action games.
Yeah, I want that. I want that.
Yeah, they're like very good at what they do. They do one thing and one thing well. So we need more of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Looking forward to that. It looks like there's going to be dual protagonists, a new guy, Yakumo, and of course Ryu Hayabusa, the original main character. You can play as him too. And of course, as mentioned before, the 2028 classic gets a remaster. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black released that day.
2008.
2000. Yeah, the game was originally came out in 2008, and now we got the Ninja Gaiden 2 Black.
Yeah. I'm probably not going to play that. But I will jump on Ninja Gaiden 4.
Yes.
Wait, what the hell? Did we miss 3?
So 3 was a weird one. So Ninja Gaiden and Ninja Gaiden 2, those were spearheaded by Tobito Itagaki, the guy who created Dead or Alive. And then he left Team Ninja to go make Devil's Third. Remember that one? So then they weren't going to make a Ninja Gaiden 3, but Nintendo funded development of Ninja Gaiden 3, The Razor's Edge, for the Wii U.
Oh, yeah.
And that game got bad reviews. It wasn't very good. There was like a Ninja Gaiden 3 like Sigma edition for like Xbox 360 and whatnot. And that game was better. but still, it wasn't as good as like the first two.
Legitimate Wolf Den fan is reminding me that there is another Ninja Gaiden game coming out this year.
That's right.
It's the side scroller.
Yes.
Ninja Gaiden. What the hell is it called?
I'll have their Wikipedia up.
Ragebound?
Yes. Ragebound.
And that also looks sick.
Yes.
I think this was in the Game of the Year awards?
Yes. So, hopefully this is a renaissance of Ninja Gaiden.
Is this the other guy that you play? Wait, because you play as, there's another guy here.
Yes. Ragebound, of course, does not have a Wikipedia page. No, you play, like, I know Ryu is in the game, but you do play as someone else in this game.
Our story begins with Ryu Hayabusa's journey to America to honor his father's will. Okay. To stand against the new threat, Kenji Mozu, a young ninja from the Hayabusa village, rises to the challenge.
Okay,
This
that
is a completely different guy.
yes.
Yeah, this looks sick.
It's from the Ragebound is from the team behind Blasphemous.
And Blasphemous rules.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a great year for Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yes.
So that's it for the Xbox.
Yes.
Developer Direct.
But speaking of Ninja Gaiden, it was announced. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black was announced during the Xbox Developer Direct, but it's only getting a physical release on PlayStation 5. What?
That's weird.
PlayAsia said it has partnered with publisher Koei Tecmo to exclusively release a PS5 physical version of the remaster on March 27th. There is no mention of a physical Xbox version, which is perhaps unsurprising given that Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is now available on Game Pass, Microsoft's subscription service.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
I wonder who decided that.
I don't know. But we know the Xbox is not a best-selling system right now.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of publishers, especially Japanese publishers, like wary of putting their games on Xbox. We saw
really no reason for them to put it on Xbox.
Yeah. So, I mean, Ninja Gaiden is like kind of like an Xbox franchise. The first two games were Xbox exclusives. So it's kind of weird now that like Ninja Gaiden 2, a system seller for the Xbox 360, is not getting a physical release on the Xbox Series.
Yeah.
You know, it's also says a lot about like the state of the industry where like, you know, physical media is mattering less and less these days. I don't have it in the article because it doesn't really like affect anything just yet, but like Sony is going to stop selling blank Blu-ray discs and they're shutting down Blu-ray printing factories. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So we're getting closer and closer to the all digital future.
I wonder whose decision this was. I wonder if it's like part of the deal with Game Pass. I mean, it kind of makes a little bit of sense for Xbox to be like, if a game's on Game Pass, just try to push people to get.
It definitely does.
Game Pass version. So I understand that.
I mean, it sounds like this is a special edition thing. If PlayAsia is partnering with. If PlayAsia, the store, is partnering directly with the publisher.
I think they do a limited run thing, kind of like limited run games. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Do we want to continue with Xbox? Because we got some Phil Spencer
stuff. We do. We could do that. Were you thinking of doing... We were talking about all the new games. We're talking about...
No! Backlog! 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 Hey, everybody. Welcome to Backlog. Will, what's the Backlog?
We were just talking about all the new games that will be coming out in 2025, but let's go talk about some old games, because the Backlog is a segment of the WULFF DEN Podcast where we go through our entire video game collection, 978 games we have in our combined list of over 40 years of gaming. We have it in a little Excel spreadsheet. Today, we're going to pick one at random and talk about it, regardless of whether or not we have played it.
374.
374. Okay. 374, and that brings us to Sonic Mania for the Nintendo Switch.
Wow.
The reason I bought the goddamn system in the first place.
This was a launch year game.
Yes.
For the Nintendo Switch.
Yes. Oh god.
But it launched on like everything.
Yeah, it launched on everything. It really was like You can play this on your phone now. If you have Netflix,
This-
Netflix subscription, you can play it on your phone.
The first good Sonic game in a really long
God
time.
knows how long.
Especially 2D?
Yes.
The first good 2D Sonic game since Sonic 3, period.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say about it? It is the perfect representation of 2D sprite-based Sonic gameplay.
And no one has done it since.
I know. It's incredible. Well, it's incredible because let's not forget, this was made by people who got their start making Sonic fan games.
Yeah.
And Sega basically went to them and said, we don't know what we're doing. You seem to know what you're doing.
Yeah,
you do it.
And then they did, and it was awesome.
It was incredible. And like, it's a perfect blend of like, you know, classic levels. Because you got Green Hill Zone, you got Chemical Plant Zone, you got Hydro City Zone, but then you got all these new modern levels, these exciting levels like Studiopolis. I would put that up there with like the best levels from all the Sonic games, especially the music to it. The music in this game is incredible.
Yeah, that's T-Lopes.
T-Lopes, yes.
Yeah, all the people who worked on this did such an incredible job.
Yeah.
And yeah, they haven't. It's still the best that Sonic has been in like decades.
Yeah.
There's Sonic Generations did a pretty decent
Sonic
job.
Generations
Sonic
good,
and
yeah.
Shadow is like fine, but
It's just Sonic Generations.
yeah, but this is really the best it's been
In
so
terms of
long.
getting like the joy and the euphoria that comes with playing like a classic style Sonic game. This is it.
My favorite 2D Sonic is Sonic 3
Mhm.
and Knuckles. Throw Knuckles on there. Why not?
Yeah, you gotta
This
do that.
game feels the closest to that.
Yeah.
And adds a little bit more. This kind of feels like what Sonic would have been on like
the Saturn. Yeah. Yeah, well that's what Christian Whitehead, like the lead developer on this, said. He wanted to make a 2D Sonic game on Saturn hardware. So like it looks like a Genesis game, yes, but like there's also like this scene right here.
What you're looking at is a special stage.
This could not run on Genesis. Like this is hands down like a Saturn's influence level. The color palette has more colors to it than what a Genesis could do. So like that could run on a Saturn. And honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if you could get this running on a Saturn because it's a small game. There's only like a couple of megabytes. It's not even a full gig. So it might fit on a disc and can run on a Saturn.
I don't think you can. You could if you did a lot to it, but people would have ported it by now if it was that easy.
Well, I don't know because like Saturn is notoriously difficult to port to.
Okay,
maybe Dreamcast though.
Dreamcast.
There you go.
But yeah, I really enjoyed what I played of Sonic Mania. Because again, Sonic 3 is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
So having something that's even a little bit close to that, and I think that this even does it better. It's just,
honestly, like if you were to ask me like what 2D Sonic game you should play, like I would just recommend this. I wouldn't even,
probably the best. Yeah.
I wouldn't even bother like recommending the other ones because like anything you want in a Sonic game is in this game.
Yeah. Although I will say Sonic Origins Plus does a pretty decent job of taking the original Sonic games and adding some stuff to it.
Yeah, adding some stuff from this game.
Yeah, legitimately.
We are still looking at the special stage right now. That's like the one area of the game like I don't like. I don't kind of.
It's fine.
It's like the Sonic CD inspired special stage, but like I never really liked how that felt. I never really liked like the mechanics behind it, which is weird because like all the other special stages from previous Sonic games are in this.
Yeah.
So like they could have just picked one of those.
There's levels from old Sonic games and also the new ones. Right now you're looking at Studiopolis, which is amazing. And
it's not just like a straight like recreation of like the classic Sonic games because they do add like different things to the environments, like Chemical Plant Zone. Like Act 1 is like very reminiscent, but Act 2 introduces all these new wild features that you can do and like interact in the environments in ways that you couldn't on the original.
It's like
Genesis.
a remix.
Yeah, a remix.
Yeah. It's amazing. And it's out on everything. In fact, some emulation handhelds have this on it.
Yes.
Because I think it's just an easy game to port around.
Well, it was made with Christian Whitehead's retro engine, which is what he used to make Sonic fan games. So like, and that just emulates like Genesis technology. So like that's stuff we've been emulating for years.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Christian Whitehead hasn't done much with. They didn't utilize this team like enough at all.
No. Christian Whitehead went on to do Penny's Big Breakaway, which is good.
I think they wanted that to be a Sonic game, but
probably
Sega was like, nah,
we'll make Sonic Superstars. We got it from here.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because like Sonic Superstars should be like just as good as this, but you can tell like this was made by a team that like clearly loves the character, clearly loves the series, whereas the other one is just like we can do this out of obligation.
Yeah, the people who worked on this game should have gone on to make more Sonic, and I think that Sega needs to know. They have to know that like they struck gold and then they just threw it all out.
And that's not to say there haven't been like bright spots here and there. Like Sonic and Shadow Generations isn't bad. Sonic Frontiers, has its fans. I like Sonic Frontiers, but like for like a pure classic Sonic experience, this is the closest anyone has gotten in decades. And it's shocking that they followed this up with Sonic Forces.
And that was horrible.
To the point where
that game was so
this is
bad.
Technically a prequel to Sonic Forces.
Yeah.
Because like when you beat, spoiler alert, if you beat this game and get like all the Chaos Emeralds, the ending of this game leads directly into classic Sonic appearing in Sonic Forces. That's how he shows up in that.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And the beginning of Sonic Forces is so bad.
Yeah.
The whole world is at war and it's like serious.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Yeah.
That game was we had the best Sonic game in years and then the worst one.
Yeah. So, and then of course there's Sonic Mania Plus, the DLC, where you can play as new characters. The main game you play as Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Plus you get to play as Mighty the Armadillo and Ray the Flying Squirrel.
I don't know, but I know that there is a really cool mode in the Plus version.
Yes, Encore mode.
Yeah, where you cycle through each character as you die.
Yes, that's a good mode.
It's really cool. So if you've played the game already, try the Plus mode. And I think they have that in Origins as well.
Yes.
For the previous games.
Yeah.
So those modes are really cool if you want to try something different with your Sonic.
Yeah.
Ray, apparently.
Yeah, Ray the Flying Squirrel. Yeah, I knew that. I know my Sonic. Don't question me.
This is one of the best Switch games still.
Absolutely.
But it's on everything.
It is on everything, but like...
You should have it in at least one place.
But like, this was like kind of the perfect game for the Switch, because like it can easily do both, be a TV game and a portable game.
It made you get the Switch.
Yeah, I've said it before. I wanted to play this.
And you could have played it anywhere else.
I could have, but like... It was coming out the week I was getting married, and the only time I would be able to play it is on my honeymoon. So I bought a Switch to play on the plane ride to Bermuda with my wife. And it was worth it. This game is so good. It is so much fun. It is like I said, it is the perfect representation of 2D Sonic. It's the only game you need. Like if you want to dip your toes into Sonic Mania, as it were, this is what you got to do. If you've seen the movies and you're like, hey, I want to get in on this Sonic shit, go right to this. It is always on sale. It is always inexpensive. You can probably even find like the physical versions of like Goodwill for like $2 at this point. So just any way you can get this game, just get this game. It is a masterpiece of 2D platforming.
Yes, definitely give it a try if you haven't.
Yes.
Hey, let's watch the backlog. See you at a podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Where are we? The Goose Chase with 100 bits. I always have this podcast on during my runs. Hit a new distance milestone today, and I owe it to y'all. Thank you. Hey, no problem. You're welcome.
Yeah.
We'll send you an invoice. War Machine, thanks for the 15 months. Hello. All right. Next, well, Phil Spencer apparently went on another press tour.
He's been doing the podcast rounds. He did a podcast with Gamertag Radio, and he was on Destin Legarie's podcast. He talked about a lot of things. These are what I feel are the highlights from this press tour. First up, Phil Spencer. We want our hardware to win. Appearing on the Gamertag Radio podcast, Phil Spencer said, I want people to pick the hardware based on the compatibilities of that hardware and how that fits into the choices they want to make about where they want to play. We want our hardware to win based on the hardware capabilities that we have. He was asked about like, why are you still making Xboxes if you're becoming more of a platform agnostic company? And he's basically trying to sell Xboxes based on the specific capabilities of an Xbox machine.
Yeah, that's weird because I've always assumed that they're not interested in selling the hardware.
I mean, they're clearly making hard. Like if you make something, you want people to buy it.
Yeah, you want people to get the thing.
Yeah, and I feel like there are certain things that Xbox does better than PlayStation, or things that are unique to Xbox rather than PlayStation. So like there's value in having like a specific Xbox, but like nobody's buying Xboxes right now. So they need to look for ways to sell the specific box that they make.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to poo-poo their product, but it just seems like Microsoft has, of the big three console manufacturers, seems like Microsoft has the least focus on their console.
Right. But
doesn't mean they don't want to sell.
Exactly. He even says, like, in the interview, it's not lost on me that box is in our name. So, like, it'd be weird if Xbox didn't sell you a box.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they are in the hardware business to stay. They're going to, obviously they're not selling as many physical boxes as they used to, but maybe by the next generation of Xbox, that's going to look different. Like, they will bake it into their economics that they won't sell as many devices as they used to.
Yeah, I'd imagine that they'll figure that out.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then he went on to talk about that Xbox, speaking of being platform agnostic, that they are going to support the Switch 2. Microsoft's gaming CEO has praised Nintendo Switch 2 and says it has plans to support the upcoming platform with ports of Xbox games. Speaking to Gamertag Radio, Phil Spencer confirmed that Xbox will be supporting the platform and said he'd exchanged messages with Nintendo's president following the Switch 2's reveal. I've exchanged emails with Furukawa-san, the CEO of Nintendo. I gave him big congrats and said my old eyes appreciate the larger screen. Nintendo, their innovation and what they mean in the industry, I just always applaud the moves that they make. They did a little flash video, and I know we'll get more details over time. I'm really looking forward to supporting them with the games that we have, and I just think they're a really important part of the industry. He added, it's hard with what's publicly out there right now for everybody to get their heads around it, but who would ever bet against the success of that team? They are masterful in what they do. Switch is a massive success, and I think Switch 2 will be as well.
Yeah, I mean, probably the most obvious thing that he's thinking about is Minecraft.
Yes.
Minecraft, I think the most units sold are on the Switch.
Yeah.
And Minecraft is the biggest selling game of all time.
Yeah.
I think. Last I looked at a Wikipedia chart. So it would be very dumb of them to make Minecraft like not go on the Switch too. But I'd imagine they're also thinking about other games.
Yeah. Well, we got the rumor that like Flight Simulator and the Master Chief Collection are coming to Switch 2.
Yeah.
So it definitely sounds like, of all of like the third-party platforms that Microsoft supports, the Switch seems to be the one that they have the most success with, or the best partnership with.
I think that Flight Sim would go really hard on Switch.
I think Master Chief Collection would go really hard on it, especially if it's crossplay.
Yeah, with multiplayer, that'd be nice. It would be you'll get destroyed if you're playing on a Switch. Well, you got a mouse now, though.
Yeah, it's true. So you might have the edge.
Yeah.
And lastly, on the Destin Legarie podcast, he was asked about Series S compatibility. We've seen that like developers have come out and said, we're having a hard time making this game for Xbox because of the Series S. It has to be, feature compatible, and we just can't do it. So Destin asked him, would you ever consider dropping or adjusting the Series S parity clauses in the Xbox Series X, to basically mean you don't have to support the Series S anymore? Phil's response: I think about it almost exactly the opposite way right now. With the rise of handheld PCs and even the introduction of the Switch 2, as developers, we're building on more device specs. I actually think we have a real advantage because we've been targeting the Series S for quite a while. So when we look at the Steam Deck or the ROG Ally or something, we've got this Series S version of the game that's more tailored to the device specs of a lot of devices that frankly are getting introduced right now. And frankly, the scalability of engines today allows them to scale. I am playing Indiana Jones on a Series S and it looks great. So it's definitely capable of playing current gen games in a great way. But most of your games that are going to be out there are going to be supporting these different devices, and the Series S spec actually maps pretty well to the devices that we've seen introduced right now. So I think it's actually an important design point for teams going forward, that kind of power/performance mix that you see in this Xbox Series S. So he brings up a lot of points that like we say on this show.
Yeah, I was about to say that
like,
we've talked about this a lot, and that's pretty much beat for beat.
Yeah, the rise of gaming handhelds, they're lower spec machines, but these games can run very well on them.
Yeah.
So there's no reason. The Series S is probably more powerful than a lot of these handhelds.
Yeah, and he also mentions that there's new technology now that allows developers an easier path to running on lower end systems.
Yeah.
These games that are being made right now are more versatile than they have been in the past. So they're easier to port. Now, I do think that there's a lot of devs that use it as a crutch. Is that the right analogy?
It's an excuse.
It's an well, they take this powerful hardware that they have, like a Series X or even like, powerful PC hardware.
Yeah.
And they use all of that power for the jankiness of the game. So like, for example, a game like Only Up, like that game should be able to run on like a GameCube.
Yeah.
But it's got like fucking ray tracing and shit because Unreal Engine 5 just like has all this shit that you can do. And it just runs like shit. But basically the big powerful technology is picking up the slack in some cases.
Yeah.
But in most cases, a lot of these big AAA games are able to run on lower powered hardware now. And that's why we're seeing games run great on the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally and stuff. And it's been it's very rare for me to find a game that has issues on these other lower end devices.
Like I'm just looking up.
They look like shit sometimes. Sometimes you're playing a game and it's 720p and you're like, oh, I can see the jagged edges. But like, I don't care.
Yeah. Like Baldur's Gate 3 is Steam Deck verified. And like they were having problems getting that game up and running on a Series S.
Well, it had some issues on Steam Deck when it launched.
Right.
But I guess they fixed it if it's verified.
But that's the thing I'm talking about. Like, I mean, maybe like Baldur's Gate.
I played it on a Steam Deck actually when it launched. Actually a few months after launch, but still.
Maybe Baldur's Gate 3 is a bad example because that's a good game. But like Gotham Knights, like they were blaming the Series S for like a lot of like delays and compatibility issues. But like really, that game was just poorly optimized.
Yeah,
they didn't have like a good setup because like they were supposed to come out on Xbox One and PS4, but if they canceled those, that game could have run on PS4. I'm convinced, but like it was just poorly optimized, so they needed more powerful hardware to get their janky system up and running.
And it would behoove these AAA game developers to develop for lower spec stuff so that you can reach a wider audience.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not gonna want to buy a game if I can't run it on my lower spec stuff.
Yeah.
I want the versatility to be able to play wherever I want. So it makes sense. I mean, the Series S is getting old by now. So I understand why it would be a little why developers wouldn't want to like touch it.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that the next Xbox systems, if they do 2 again, which I think that they should, I'm hoping that if they do that, they sort of follow a similar architecture to what these gaming handhelds are like, because then it might be easier to port between all of these different devices.
Well, I mean, it definitely sounds like Microsoft is trying to get into the handheld space, either by revamping Windows or coming out with their own.
They have to see the big potential in all of these PC handhelds.
I think they do, and I think
they just need to be marketed better. They just need to be simplified a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if they can revamp Windows to be better on a handheld, that's your entry point right there. But like, if they want to do like an Xbox branded handheld and like make it themselves, they can do that too.
Or do what Steam is doing and partner with one company like Lenovo and be like, you are the Xbox handheld.
Yeah.
Go forth.
Yeah.
And then they could sell it for cheap because they got Microsoft behind them.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Uh-huh.
This year is going to also be the year of the handheld. We got a lot of
absolutely
stuff coming out. That's it for Phil Spencer, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with what he's saying about the Series S. Although it is getting old. We can't deny that it's getting old.
I mean, they're all getting, these systems came out in like 2020, so we're already like we're entering year 5 of these things.
Time for the big sad news.
Yeah. Earthblade was going to be the next game from the creators of the 2D pixel art action hits Towerfall and Celeste, but on Wednesday, designer Maddie Thorson announced the project was quietly canceled last month after a fallout between some of the team members and the realization that the game's protracted development had become a real slog. For us on the inside, we've had some time to process, grieve, and work towards accepting this, although the process is non-linear and still ongoing, Thorson wrote. For those only reading this now who might be emotionally invested in this project, we are sorry to disappoint you. Earthblade was announced by indie team Extremely OK Games back in 2021 and revealed its first gameplay trailer at the Game Awards in 2022. Originally set to come out in early 2023, development didn't progress as quickly as the team had expected. A planned 2024 launch was eventually delayed. In the cancellation announcement today, Thorson writes of a falling out with pixel artist Pedro Madrinos, whose visual style defined the aesthetic of the upcoming project over a dispute related to the IP rights for Celeste, the beloved 2018 Game of the Year contender. We eventually reached a resolution, but both parties also agreed in the end that we should go our separate ways. Pedro is now working on his own game, Neverway, which you should check out. We've played it, and it's very promising. Thorson went on to pull the curtain back on some of the latest projects. Thorson went on to pull the curtain back on some of the latest projects' difficult development. Celeste's success applied pressure on us to deliver something bigger and better with Earthblade, and the pressure is a large part of why working on it became so exhausting. Pedro isn't to blame for this. In fact, the split with him was giving us the clarity to see that we have lost our way and the opportunity to admit defeat. I feel many ways about it, but one big feeling is undoubtedly relief. For now, Thorson and Celeste co-creator Noel Berry have gone back to prototyping a new potential project while the rest of the team has moved on. The dream of Earthblade might be dead, but the minds behind it aren't done making games.
That is really sad. Celeste is one of the best games of all time, and we haven't seen anything since Celeste came out from these people.
It's also like a refreshing peek behind the curtain of like what happened. And like things like this don't just affect like the big publishers who like are so big they can't see like what their team is working on. They can't see like, the forest for the trees. It affects like the smaller, more intimate groups as well.
Yeah, it's really sad to hear that they had disputes inside. Having disputes over the IP rights of Celeste, I could understand why because that's such a massive IP now. It started off as nothing, and then all of a sudden, this small team of people has this juggernaut game. But what's sad is that anything that they make next is going to be another juggernaut game. Yeah. So the fact that they're able to split and walk away and cancel it means that something must have been pretty serious. But it's sad to see that they're leaving all that opportunity on the table. It doesn't mean that they're done. Like, they're going to make other stuff. I'm also interested to see where the talent was. It looks like the talent is splitting up. Which one is the one that made Celeste good?
I mean, hopefully they can take what they were doing with Earthblade and like transform it into something new. Like keep the same style. Obviously, they can't keep the same visual aesthetic because that guy went off to do something else.
And the visual aesthetic is so good.
I know.
So this is his other game, Neverway, that also looks good. But this looks like a different type of game completely.
Yeah.
I need my platformer. So that's very sad. I was actually very much looking forward to that game. I use Celeste for benchmarking for input delay. I play it all the time. Great. Anyway, sad news. Next, good news. Video Game History Foundation opens its archives to the public.
Starting January 30th, the Video Game History Foundation will be opening its digital archives to the public. Still a work in progress, these archives will be one of the largest repositories dedicated to the study and preservation of video game history and will feature over 1,500 issues of out-of-print gaming magazines in addition to promotional material and other game development assets. An accessible digital archive has been the goal of the Video Game History Foundation since its founding in 2017. While it would be one thing to simply scan everything in their library and drop it on the Internet Archive, Video Game History Foundation was intent on making its digital archive a resource that adds value to the games that they're preserving and is tailored to aid in the research of video game history. To that end, the digital archive will allow you to search will allow you to search for mentions of specific games, publishers, and authors, in addition to the ability to search for oddly specific terms. Want to learn the first mention of Metroidvania? You'll be able to find it within the archive. Because uploading and cataloging everything into a digital archive is an ongoing process, you have the ability to sort through a collection of unprocessed material from the Video Game History Foundation as well.
That's really cool.
While the physical archives of the Foundation maintains a vast library of playable titles, the current anti-circumvention rules in the Digital Millennium Copyright Act prohibit remote access, meaning that unless the U.S. Copyright Office grants an exception to this rule following the Video Game History Foundation allowing the Video Game History Foundation to break the copyright protection on these titles, the digital archive will remain limited to visual assets. As a reminder, the Video Game History Foundation is a nonprofit organization and is reliant on donations from the public. If you would like to support this important work in preserving video game history, check out their website to find the best ways for you to contribute.
Yeah. This seems like this website they're building is like their own version of archive.org.
Yes.
Which is cool. Because there's issues with archive.org. I don't know what they are. But I know that people, it's not as legitimate as it could be.
Yeah, it's...
I like Internet Archive.
Yeah, we have nothing against like Internet Archive, but like it definitely feels like more of a... I don't want to use the term like fan community type thing, but it definitely like is outside of like the law in a way.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm worried that it could be shut down at any moment.
Yeah,
it's I don't know how to put it. There's a lot of stuff on there that's definitely breaking copyright laws.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be the case. I mean, it's an archive of stuff. Everything should be fine.
Yeah.
But the Video Game History Foundation seems to be trying its best to do things in as much of a legitimate way as possible, and they're also working on fighting the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So they're working on getting things in writing to make it legitimate. So this is a really cool step forward.
Yes.
In the preservation of video game history.
Yes. I mean, now we could... This is also kind of skirting copyright in a way. I mean, they're not doing the video games themselves. They're doing like long out of print published material from magazines that I'm sure nobody owns the copyright to anymore. So, but like that's still like a valuable resource because like a lot of like entertainment history, like video game history is like very poorly documented. Mm-hmm. So like any information we can get on anything would be like a valuable asset because like that's how you learn from the past. Those who fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of resources about video games on the internet, but you'll be surprised. Like a lot of times, I'll try to look up something really specific, and you just can't find it. Like you'll remember, like, oh, I remember this magazine back in the day where I looked up cheat codes for something, and you can't find it.
Yeah,
or I'll have this like memory of a version of a game, and then like, I can't look up anything about it. So obviously it's important to preserve this sort of
stuff. Also too, like context. You like learn like why certain games are the way they are. Why like, a game from 1995 was developed in a way different from when it was from like a 1985 video game, So.
Oh, geez. We got a super chat from Professor Rock with $2. Wolf Bros with 2020 vision today, looking slick. 2020?
I mean, because we got our glasses on.
Yeah, hopefully they did it right. Hopefully they made these glasses correctly. All right. Modders release Vice City update.
A Russian modding group has released its GTA Vice City Next Gen Edition in the face of YouTube takedowns from Rockstar parent company Take-Two. The eye-catching mod from a group calling itself Revolution Team ports the world, cutscenes, and missions from 2002's Vice City into 2008's GTA 4. Excuse me. In a video description, the modder said Take-Two had deleted its YouTube channel without any warning or attempt to contact us. A huge amount of effort and time was invested into the channel, including hundreds of hours of streams dedicated to the mod's development, a statement continued. Additionally, We lost connection with our international audience, which was a significant part of our community. The teaser trailer for GTA Vice City Next Gen Edition gained over 100,000 views and 1,500 comments in less than a day. Unfortunately, the channel was removed without any possible recovery. This was a cruel move from them, but we have already accepted the situation since we cannot influence it. We refrained from commenting as we weren't sure what further actions could follow. So we've decided not to take any risks which could disrupt the release. These past 2 days have been emotionally tough for the team since we envisioned the release very differently with a cozy system dedicated to the long-awaited launch of the mod, but none of that matters anymore. The most important thing now is that we release the project on the promised date. It is unclear how long it will remain publicly available or whether there will be demands to take it down. We're not opposed to re-uploads, but we cannot openly encourage you to do so. Do as you see fit. The modders said that originally it planned for GTA Vice City Next Gen to require a legitimate copy of GTA 4 to play to show respect to the publisher, but it has now released it as a standalone installation-ready package. In light of the current uncertainties, we had to make this change to ensure the mod's stable performance for the widest possible audience, they said. Obviously, Take-Two will take a dim view of the modder's actions here, given it's already worked to have the videos of the mod removed, but the group remains defiant, saying this modification is absolutely free without any commercial benefit. The project was created by fans, for fans. The Revolution team expresses gratitude to the developers, not the publisher of the original game. It's a great pity that Take-Two Interactive blocks modding initiatives that aim to maintain interest in their iconic games. Perhaps our project will serve as a precedent for the entire modding community.
Yeah, I've heard about Take-Two being really annoying with mod stuff and even copyright on YouTube videos and stuff.
Yeah.
They seem to Nintendo's notorious for being a little aggressive with that.
Yeah.
And Take-Two's getting there. They're aggressive in different ways. Like there's nothing illegal about what they're doing.
Yeah. Like
with this mod.
People do like total conversion mods for PC games all the time.
Yeah.
They release
it should be welcomed for a PC game.
Obviously. Like fucking Hogwarts Legacy just enabled mod support. So like look out for all like the Goblet of Fire like remakes in Hogwarts Legacy coming soon. Yeah. But like, modding on PC gaming is like, that's a part of PC gaming. Like you can find new ways to like revamp old games, and you can find new ways of recreating old games in modern games. Because there's things in GTA 4 that you can't do in Vice City, and to play a version of Vice City with those features would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It sucks that they would, do that. I mean, they're trying to make sure that all eyes are on the new Grand Theft Auto. They don't want people to be looking up stuff about Grand Theft Auto and then seeing a mod. But who cares?
Yeah.
Let people sort it out for themselves.
Yeah, like this is...
Or say, hey, we'll allow this if you clearly state it's a mod.
Honestly, like this is not going to affect sales of like GTA 6 or the trilogy collection that has Vice City in it. Because like those are for the general public. People are going to buy that. This is for like a specific enthusiast crowd who like maybe like has played Vice City and wants to play like the game again, but with a new coat of paint. Or maybe they're like hardcore GTA fans who just want a different experience. This is not going to affect your sales at all. Grand Theft Auto 5 has made more money than any video game in history. So you can let the fans do like a free fucking version of Vice City from the PlayStation 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Fuck Take-Two for that. Don't like that at all. Last news, a modder creates a Steam brick. And I saw this and I downloaded it and it's awesome.
Wait, it's going to the wrong.
Yeah, Yeah, wait, why?
Why did I put two articles in there? Hold on.
Well, you look that up. I'll show everybody the 3D file. So right here it is this is the this thing right here that you're looking at is the Steam brick. Some guy wanted to make basically, I've been saying This is the board of the Steam Deck right here, this gray little
Yeah.
square. It's very small. That's like the whole Steam Deck right
Yeah.
there is this little tiny board. So why haven't people been doing like mods where they turn this into a tiny PC or something like that? So this guy finally made I mean I saw an ETA Prime video where he did something similar. But this guy made the Steam Brick. It's a little 3D printed enclosure because he wanted to be able to play his Steam Deck with those X-Real glasses.
Yeah.
And they just plug in USB-C, but he didn't want to have his whole Steam Deck with him. So now he's got this little tiny little sandwich thing, this big. And he plugs his glasses into that.
Yeah.
And now he's good to go, baby.
Yeah. Castaneter Pro is the creator of it, and he said, the Steam Deck has been a game changer for travel, but I find myself leaving it behind more often than not, as it won't fit in my backpack, took up a huge amount of carry-on space, and was a hassle to bring down from the overhead compartment when I wanted to use it. Castaneter Pro also has the most niche use case for the Valve's handheld, mostly keeping it plugged into a TV or with a pair of AR glasses, the kind that can project a large screen into your field of view. So I was thinking, he said, it could be so much smaller and lighter without all the built-in controller and screen, but that would be ridiculous, right? Mm-hmm. The Steam Brick will still boot and connect to external peripherals with its screen and all the controls, save the power button removed. Tragically, the Castaneter Pro notes that the newer revision of Steam Deck OLED is preferable for the mod. So rest in peace to that beautiful screen. RIP to that beautiful screen Steam Deck early adopters would kill for. Castaneter Pro kept the motherboard, battery, Wi-Fi antenna, storage, USB-C out, power button, and cooling fan only, saying goodbye to the volume buttons and headphone jack in the final build. In addition to the controls and the screen, Castaneter Pro trimmed down the deck's internal aluminum frame and seated it in a simple 3D printed enclosure, resulting in the final Steam Brick. Castaneter Pro cautions that this is really taking the life of the machine in your own hands, and there's no guarantee it won't cook itself or experience some other unforeseen failure down the line. But for the creator's very specific use case, it seems more or less perfect.
Yeah. I'm really interested in this. So I imported this into a project that I was already working on. I don't know if I would copy this because it's not really that editable as an STL. It's great that he published everything.
Yeah.
I hope that people piggyback off of this and make other stuff with it.
Yeah.
I was hoping to make a laptop out of the Steam Deck using something similar. I also want to look into how he had to like take a freaking angle grinder to like parts of the metal frame on the inside for some reason. I don't know why, because can't you just take the board out? But it's cool that he did this. It's amazing that it took this long for somebody to make an enclosure like this. And I'm excited to see what other people do with it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this will lead to like that laptop you were so looking forward to.
Yeah, well, I want to make it, so so maybe. Yeah. So if you have like X-Real glasses or something like that, those AR glasses, and you don't like lugging around your Steam Deck, you still need to lug around a controller though.
Yeah.
So
well, I mean,
it all adds up.
Yeah, but like you get like the SM30 from from 8BitDo. Those are thin.
I just think the X-Real glasses are a little dumb because you have a device with a screen on it already. Mm-hmm. What are you playing on there that you don't want the guy next to you seeing?
Yeah.
Well, the device has the controller, it has the screen, and it's got the guts. Everything you need is right there.
Honestly, like I was playing South Park, the Fractured But Whole on my Switch, and I was playing it in the airport, and I got to the part where like you enter the strip club, and I'm like, I probably shouldn't play this in public.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, so it's for porn.
Yeah.
X-Real glasses are for porn.
I mean, isn't everything for porn?
Tweet of the week.
Tweet of the week. Tweet of the week. Tweet of the week.
This is a reply, actually. So the original tweet is, "This is porn for boomers." And it's Dave Ramsey calls out this entitled 23-year-old. You're not all that. It's a screenshot of a YouTube thumbnail and title. And this guy said, the majority of boomer content is just this, and it's a really beautiful drawing of Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
It says, I'm better than you.
Feels right.
Feels right.
Yeah.
Owned that millennial.
Yeah.
Zoomer, 23-year-old Zoomer, right?
Yes. Yeah. Hate Zoomers with their TikToks and
With their red notes.
their red notes and their Heelys. The Heelys still cool? I don't know.
Yeah, the Zoomers probably missed Heelys.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know they
Heelys
missed.
is young millennial.
I know they missed Animorphs, and I feel bad for
Yes.
them. I feel like they wouldn't be such a messed up group if they just had Animorphs.
Are
So-
Zoomers messed up?
I think. Well, I'm older than them, so
Millennials are messed up.
I think anybody younger than me. No, we're fine.
No, we're traumatized.
We are traumatized, but we got stuff to cope with it. What do they have? Fucking minions. Fuck those guys.
All right, we're going to talk to you guys.
Yes. Let's start with people who have comments on last week's Wolf Den Podcast over on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wolf Den Podcast.
We got Max Idge, who says the red and blue default Joy-Con make even more sense now since they're like the two ends of a magnet. Oh, wow.
So smart.
Neil Cole says, Will wanting to be Nintendo Switch friends with his brother's fiance is the nicest thing someone can do for his brother.
That I should have brought my Switch. Just next time I'm bringing it.
You didn't do it to be nice.
She's part of the family, and that includes like being Switch friends.
Now you got to be Steam friends because she's playing.
We're already Steam friends. Is she on Xbox and PlayStation? Because I got to get that next too.
She's on Xbox. She doesn't use Xbox.
It doesn't matter. Like, we got to be friends.
He probably does not even have.
She chose to be part of this family, so now she's got to be friends with me on all the platforms.
Comes with.
I hope she hears this from upstairs because I'm talking loudly.
You're in 3 family plans with her. YouTube Premium.
Yes.
Nintendo Switch Online and Steam Family.
Yes.
Sharing. And that's it.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Anyway, Charlie Fenn, new test for Bob. See how easy he can break the Switch 2 rails. Oh, and I reluctantly accept Will's apology. I don't know why you apologize.
Because she's my only friend on Threads, and I was like threatening to not post on Threads anymore. I posted today. I posted the link to the podcast, but yeah. Get over to Blue Sky. It's calmer.
I'm interested to see if I could break a Switch 2. That could be a good video. I just feel bad taking one off of the market.
Yeah.
Like, if it's hard to get, I feel bad doing that.
You know somebody's going to make like a durability test video is the second that thing comes out. So like, you don't have to be that person.
That's true. Yeah. And it's also like you got to pay $400, $500 depending on the tariff. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
So it's I already got to pay. I mean, the video would pay for itself, but like, it just feels like too much of a waste.
Yeah.
I'm not against wasting something for content, but like that might be a little too far for me. Mostly because I just like the Switch and it feels wrong to destroy it in that way, especially when people are trying to get it and they, me buying one and stomping on it is taking it away from somebody else who's actively trying to get it. It's like when you see someone take a comic book and rip it in half, it's like, that was like $3.
Yeah.
But like, it feels wrong. It's like this weird visceral reaction.
You're destroying art.
Yeah.
You know, like,
it's like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Laned says, if you enjoy Spy Hunter, you will also enjoy Guerrilla War, an amazing NES port of a great arcade game. Also, you can actually beat it because select is your insert coin button.
Oh.
So basically, you have infinite coins, and it's a simultaneous multiplayer, so you and a buddy can plow your way through armies of guys with a plethora of weapons and an occasional tank on each map. It's called Guerrilla War.
Yes. Okay. I've seen, well, not this specific game, but I've seen games similar to this.
Maybe we'll get it on Nintendo Switch.
In the Guerrilla War follows the adventures of 2 unnamed rebel commandos. In the Japanese version, they are Che Guevara and Fidel Castro.
What the fuck?
That's the Japanese version.
What the hell?
It is. That's why it looks familiar, because it's made by the people who made Ikari Warriors, and it looks exactly like the same game.
That's so weird. I'm having like an existential crisis.
Why?
Because it feels like to the rest of the world, those guys were not the enemy. But to America, they were the enemy, so they couldn't put them in the game when they released it in America.
I don't know if...
I don't think the developers in Japan were doing a fun goof. You know?
I don't know. I don't even know if like people in Cuba think they're good people, you know?
There's like a weird like revisionist history going
Yeah.
on. I don't know much about that situation, but I know that some people like to bring them up.
Yeah, I feel like we should just stay in our lane.
This is not a political podcast.
Yeah, we need to stay in our lane and talk about video games. You know, so we'll just talk about the American version, which has no politics at all.
So why were they in the Japanese version? I'm very curious.
Well, remember, like Japan used to do this all the time. They would get like do really bizarre stuff with like political figures. Like remember, Bionic Commando, the enemy of Bionic Commando was Adolf Hitler. And in the American version, he was Master D.
Okay, so it was a meme.
Yeah.
Okay. The 9th most successful table arcade unit of the month.
Oh, there you go.
Where are we?
We're last
Do Rules says, I absolutely love Idris Elba Knuckle.
My kids have watched that Sonic 2 once a day, every day for the past 2 weeks.
That's good.
And I can honestly tell you that Idris Elba is fucking perfectly cast as Knuckles. He is so funny.
A lot of people are talking about how they don't like Keanu Reeves' Shadow.
Those people should shut up.
Yeah, it seems fine from what I've seen.
Yeah, I need to give you because I got my hand on Sonic 3 in a totally legal way.
It's out digital. It's out
digitally. Yes.
Yeah.
So
and you have it digital.
I have it digital. Yes. But yeah, no, it's just the climax in the movie where they're trying to figure out how to defeat Robotnik, and he just goes, "I suggest the groin." Like, every time I just crack up.
Was that it?
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it for last week. Okay. Now we're in the chat. You could tell us about Che Guevara and whatever the fuck
And
his
Fidel
name
Castro.
is. When Sonic 3 came out digitally, it came out digitally while we were doing the podcast last week.
Yeah.
And the second it came out digitally, somebody immediately posted the entire thing on Twitter.
Nice.
Will, did you see the Spider-Man voice actor for the new show say he is glad it's not woke?
I did see that. You know, famous, not woke superhero, famous intolerant superhero Spider-Man. Who, you know, is not accepting of anybody, regardless of race, gender, religion, or whatnot. I'm just glad that they're finally doing Steve Ditko Spider-Man the way he wanted it to be. This is why you don't let actors do interviews sometimes.
Yeah. Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Watch the show still. Support the other creators, especially showrunner Jeff Trammell, says Gavin.
I mean, yeah, like the show does still look good. Like I'm gonna watch it. You know, it's hard because if you just stop watching movies and TV shows every time somebody says something you don't like or disagree with, you're not gonna watch anything. So he can say dumb things. I've liked stuff from people who have said dumber things.
Edward Bova gave us a bunch of stuff. Bob, you were the #1 story on Spawnwave Newscast today, along with Jeff Keighley, Kit and Krista from Nintendo Minute, and Beat Them Up. I did not know that. I cannot watch a YouTube video on the stream.
What were they talking about?
It must be that I was. Oh, we should talk about this. I was denied. We were denied.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, I assume because you were a guest on mine.
I didn't get an email when I
didn't get
saw.
one either.
How did you find out you were?
I went onto the website.
Okay.
And just looked at the ticket, and it said, "Goodbye.
Okay.
Leave us alone." But you were a guest on our thing.
Yeah, so I assume I was also denied.
Yeah, you were also.
Yeah, I
denied.
figured that. When I saw you were denied, I assumed I was denied.
And then I did it on 2 other accounts. Those other accounts were also denied.
A lot of people were getting denied.
Everyone's denied except for Benny and Wood. Somehow Wood got in. I regret not doing different dates and times for all accounts. Everyone should have done a different one. I didn't. I panicked when I signed up and I didn't know how it works.
Yeah.
So putting 3 of us together on one time slot was a bad call. Should have spread it out a little bit, but whatever.
Whatever.
I'm sure I'll get my hands on it eventually. We'll figure it out. Benny is going. Our editor is going to the L.A. date.
Oh wow.
So good for him.
Yeah.
I was thinking they have to look at your account a little bit.
Yeah.
What are the parameters? I mean, it's random, but like, are they vetting people? I might have some blemishes on my account because I did get a couple Mario Maker levels deleted for obscenities.
Right.
So I don't have a clean record on my Nintendo account. That's what I'm saying. Then Bob, you forgot to talk about Astral Chain director seemingly forms new studio after leaving Platinum Games. Oh, I just don't care.
Is everybody leaving Platinum Games? Takeshia Tura formed a new company. Okay. What are
I was like the only one who didn't like Astral.
Right. I didn't play it, so I can't comment on the quality of it, but okay. It seems like people are like leaving Platinum Games. Something like things are not going well over there. Because like
Immediately once what's his name left,
Kamiya.
Yeah, there's no way.
Well, Shinji Mikami was a founder too, and he left years ago.
Yeah,
before he formed Tango, and then he left Tango.
Yeah, I'd imagine Platinum is a shell of its former self, but they're doing
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah. Would the Mario Maker level deletions have anything to do with the male anatomy? Yeah, I drew a big old cock in
That'll do it.
Mario Maker for an ad for ED pills, and it got the. It was up for like a week, and then once I posted the video, it must have gotten reported. What do you mean Babylon's Fall was a complete success? Remember that? That's Platinum Games.
I remember that.
He also did Star Fox Zero as well. Ooh. That game is good if you play it on a $1,000 dual screen laptop.
I am shocked. I am shocked that they never ported that over to Switch in like a non-dual screen format,
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like
having a button to switch between the screens might be enough.
Or even just removing
like a picture-in-picture. No, you kind of need first person.
Okay, but like that, I feel like that's a game that could easily be done like a single screen format,
Yeah. I think swapping screens really isn't. It doesn't really take you out of it.
Yeah.
And maybe if they do like a picture-in-picture, or they just put it on the Switch too. If it has that cast thing, that would be really good. That'd be perfect for that. Did we forget Silk Song is coming out this year too, right?
Is it?
Says who, man? We just completely abandoned that.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm having a fallout with F-Zero. It's never coming. Gonna download Redout 2 again.
Yeah.
F-Zero, they just don't.
I'm surprised they've like abandoned that.
It would be amazing if they do anything with F-Zero. Hideki Nishino is now the sole CEO of Sony. Herman Hulst will no longer be co-CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, but will continue as CEO of PlayStation Studio Business Group.
That broke during the podcast. I did not feel it was significant enough to talk about.
It just sounds like some shuffling around.
Yeah, corporate reshuffling.
How's F-Zero 99 doing, by the way? Probably not good, but it had a huge start.
Yeah.
Anyone have any guesses exactly how they'll implement the mouse gimmick on Switch 2?
I mean, that'll be a game by game basis.
it will. I don't think anybody can predict how they're gonna do it. I think that there will be some 1-2 switch type thing that does some wacky shit with it. I think that there might be a game that is structured around mouse mode just to like show you how it works and stuff. And then I think there'll be some weird shit every so often where it'll have some weird functionality in a game or
it'll be like all
something.
the other like weird features of like other Nintendo systems. I'm sure they'll come out with like Mario Paint again.
And then in 2 years from now, everyone will forget that it even exists.
Yes.
That there is even a mouse mode. Maybe it means it'll support a keyboard.
Maybe.
Yeah, so we've said this before. A lot of ports on the Switch are just the PC ports.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a video where I use a mouse and keyboard on the Switch and show what games work and how to get it to work on games that don't support it. So a surprising amount of games just work with a mouse and keyboard. It would be interesting if the mouse on the Joy-Con is just mapped as a mouse.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be interesting to see what a keyboard would work with a keyboard.
Yeah.
I like playing with a mouse and keyboard for certain games. So having that option sounds really cool.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of people. I get asked frequently, like, what's a good PC to get my son? He wants to play Fortnite, and it's like you can play Fortnite on fucking anything. Like, you don't need a PC for that. But they see all these streamers playing it on a PC with a mouse and keyboard, so they want a mouse and keyboard. Most of the reason they play on a PC though is because of the super high frame rates.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna get that on a Switch too. But plugging in a mouse and keyboard, that might interest some people because they see the people on Twitch playing with a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
Now they all of a sudden have an easy way to try to do that. Wonder what their new Pro controller will look.
I'd imagine that would look like a standard controller.
I'm starting to think they might not even make one.
You think they'll just use it's got to be compatible with the original Pro?
Yeah, I think they'll just keep selling the old one.
I don't know. I feel like if the new Joy-Cons have a new feature, then they'll have to do an updated Pro controller. Because they did a Pro controller for the Wii U.
Yeah.
They did a Pro controller for the Switch. It would make sense to do another Pro controller.
Yeah.
Like what they would upgrade it with, I don't know. Oh, yeah. As according to superstar artist Gavin Guidry, they would need to add the C button. The mysterious C button.
Depends on what that button does.
True.
Because if it's the mic button, there might not be a mic in the Pro controller.
There might.
There might not. That being said, I think the old controller will work regardless.
Yeah, it'll work.
If they make a new controller, I think the old controller.
Yeah, well, it's like, the Xbox Series can use Xbox One controllers.
Yeah. Anyway,
but
Wii Collection subscription mouse cons could work emulating that, right? Yeah, people keep saying Wii games. Fucking the Joy-Con is already motion controls.
Yeah, the Joy-Con emulates Wii controls fairly well.
I mean, you might need a little more accuracy for a pointer, but I don't think so. I think the Joy-Con have such good motion controls that it emulates.
Yeah,
it could emulate a pointer just fine. All right. I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for chatting with us. As always, the Wolf Den Podcast is every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/WolfDen or youtube.com/WolfDen Podcast. If you can't make the show for any reason at all, we always put the archive version up over on youtube.com/WolfDen Podcast. So you can go and check us out over there on demand whenever you want. But if you prefer to listen to us rather than watch us, you can do that as well, because we're also an audio podcast on any and every podcast service such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Podcasts, Audible.com, Pocket Cast. No matter where you get the show from, folks, please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review us, because that helps us with placement on all of those respective platforms.
Miss Click is streaming. Go watch her.
Do it.
I am gonna have a video out on Thursday. I was working on Sunday to get this really long Nintendo Switch to work. I got it to work.
Hooray!
I can now play Nintendo Switch games really wide on this little stupid thing. So I'll have a video out on Thursday. And I'll stream on Thursday. And that's all I gotta say. Thanks for being here. I'll see you later. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I gotta show you because I get yelled at if I don't show you.
Hey, it's me. Hi.
Bye.
Bye.